Hey everybody. It's Sunday, June 10th. Hanging out here in the garage a little bit. Haven't spent an awful lot of time out here this week. Done a couple other little things, and a lot of hours at work. Sometimes there's just not enough time in the day. Um, kind of like this thing that a couple of guys are doing with this, hour here, hour there, and that seems to be a lot of times what you can do when you get busy with other stuff. So, that being said, what have we accomplished this week? Well, first thing we've got is we finished cleaning under the hood of our Subaru. That's actually looking pretty good under there, so it's ready for things to go back together. We've got our engine out here, got it ready to go back together. I still have to do the cylinder heads and so forth, get them ready. The block halves are done, with the exception of just do a light hone in the cylinders before I put it back together. I don't want to do too much. Just they don't even really have much of a groove on them, so I just want to just clean them up and before we put the pistons back in. Pistons are soaking and cleaning them right now. All the rest of the stuff has been apart before I started making videos, actually. So all the bearing surfaces have been plastic gauged, checked for clearance and so forth. All good. Put back together. So the crank is basically ready to go. Bearings are ready to go. Camshaft is set. So maybe get a little time this week. Maybe this is going to be our, power hour here, so to speak. We're going to see if we can get some of this engine back together and get it back in the car. It's just this is one of those projects I'd really like to get put back together before we start tinkering with our F-150, which I'm just dying to do, but I'm just trying to prioritize stuff, and this stuff here was started first, so let's get it done, because if I don't, it never will be. Cleaned up a little bit around the shop. I could clean up a lot more, I'll tell you that for sure. We've got here's a little something for Cecil. Told him I'd give him a shot of that. This is what hangs on the wall here above my bench. Picked this up at a used furniture store downtown here in Reno a couple years ago, and she's been on my wall ever since. Always will be too. My favorite automobile of all time, right there. One of these days, push comes to shove, maybe we'll have one sitting in here. So, that said, one thing I've gotten a couple questions about is this car here. Go over this a little bit with you guys for a minute. This is Mary Ann. Mary Ann is a 2006 Mustang GT. She's pretty much stock. It does have a 91 octane tune and a catback exhaust. Pretty much that's actually the only thing that's been done drivetrain wise. It's got 18-inch polished bullets with let's see there, 235/50 Z-rated 18 Goodrich G-force tires on it. Had the car for about 2 years. Kind of my favorite toy type thing. It's not a project by any stretch of the imagination. It's more a labor of love. We've pretty much had a Mustang always for a number of years now, so This is our current one, and I think this one here is a keeper. I don't think I have any plans on getting rid of this car. It's a nice, comfortable car to drive. It's a 4.6, of course, it being a GT with a 5-speed. With that tune, I think the best I've ever seen out of this after it was tuned was about 19 miles per gallon. It does run really, really well, but it is a little expensive on the gas as a day-to-day driver. So that's why we've been, running the scooter here around, because I can drive that thing around for, $15, $20 all week. So the Mustang, she's kind of a, Sunday afternoon driver, date night car, if you will. Leather interior. It's got the Shaker 1000 sound system, which sounds really good, but I'll tell you what, it's kind of a pain because the entire trunk is pretty much taken up with, that big speaker box and stuff in the back. So, sounds good. It's fun to drive. If I can get a shut the door. Let's see what she's got. There you go. She's got exactly 10,000 miles plus 2/10. So a little bit different than Greg's truck for sure. She's got a ways to go. And I think 2 years ago when I purchased the car, it had, I believe, 5,200 miles on it. So it hasn't had, a lot of use. It's sorry about that. It's a nice big car. Miles on it. Pretty plain here in the hood. Some of the things I'm going to do to it, just haven't done yet. I think we definitely need to do a valve cover upgrade on this engine. These stock covers are just freaking ugly. And that's about the only way I can describe it. There's a lot to be desired is what you get, well, at the time anyway, what you got before. So I think a new set of valve covers would be a nice addition. The other thing I need to add is the hood scoop that goes on it. It's a purely cosmetic thing, but it's one of those kind of things, I just like the way they look. So we have to put that on. I think a set of the louvers on the side windows here in the back would be good. As far as actually driving the car, the louvers are not a hindrance because those little windows are basically useless. So she's got a nice sound to her. Flowmaster exhaust, Series 50, I believe. And that's pretty much that one. Like I say, a couple people have asked. That's what she is. Like I say, not a project at all, but something that I really like. And the only project to it is just keeping it clean. So that's kind of cool. And like I say, we got our old truck over here, and I haven't been using that a lot since we got the little scooter because the truck is kind of expensive to drive. I mean, I drive that little car there around for, like I say, $15 to $20 a week, with all my little running around back and forth to work, where the truck would be more like 70 to 75. So kind of a savings there. That little car will pay for itself in no time, which is cool. and then we'll get that one done and running. I don't know, I have full plans of keeping that car as well. I mean, you get to a point where you start asking yourself, how many cars do you need? But I do have, I've got two, teenagers that, so far at this point actually haven't shown much interest in driving. One is about to turn 18, and the other one will turn 18 in September. And they still, my son, he has his learner's permit, but that's about it. And the other one, she didn't even have that. So a little different than I was when I was a kid. And a little different than my daughter was. The day she turned 16, she was right there. And she drives a 97 Mustang, a Cobra. That's her baby. She's definitely my daughter. So that's one reason to kind of keep some of these little cars around. Maybe at some point, one of these kids would want one, but you never know. Kids are kids. And that's about it. Today is Sunday, so tonight we got the Mumble Chat coming up. Really like the chat. If any of you guys haven't been into it, it's pretty cool. It's real time, talk back and forth with all the guys in the garage, and pretty fun. Discuss videos, issues of the day, solve all the world's problems type thing, and it's just kind of fun, getting together with the guys and chatting back and forth a little bit. On that issue, I'd like to give a shout out to VW Darren. Buddy, I know you're not feeling too good. I feel your pain, and here for you. I mean, anything that you could need on the other side of the country, but we're here. If anything, you're in our prayers, and it'll get better. You'll make your way through it. There's good days and there's bad days, and sometimes it's what's thrown at you, and the way you handle it determines the way that it is, and you're handling it good, buddy. So we're thinking of you, just to let you know. And now a lot of other videos I've seen out this weekend. I kind of was wanting to do a driving video for Darren. He kind of likes those. My girlfriend's been down out of town for work this week. She was supposed to be back on Friday. She actually won't make it back until late tonight. So this afternoon I kind of had plans of taking Mary Ann and maybe driving up into the mountains and doing a little drive around Lake Tahoe for you, and give Darren at least something to watch. He really likes those. So maybe next week, maybe next weekend we'll get that done. So until then, I guess that's about it. I'll get this posted up for you guys, and we'll be here the next time. See ya.